Hey guys, welcome to part 5 of my 96 Seadoo Sportster project. I know in part 4 it just ends, the video ends with me pressure washing the engine out in the driveway and talking about that. And I was wanting to do part 4 all the way until I test this thing in the water. It probably would have been an hour video, but when I was actually working on this thing, this is a week ago today, when I was trying it out, hooking the battery up, plugging it all in, I ended up cracking my phone, cracking the screen of my phone. And it already had a crack in it, or a little small crack in it, but I spiderwebbed it real bad. Working on this thing, I had it in my back pocket, and that's what I do all of my YouTube videos with. So I was up for an upgrade for a new phone anyways, and I continued shooting. It was cracked when I was shooting the pressure wash scene and pulling the engine out of the XPX. It was still cracked, but it still filmed. So I went ahead and converted that whole video and all that right there and just posted it as part 4. And when I was converting, moving everything from my old phone to my new phone, which is what I'm filming with now, I did some work on this thing and didn't film it because I was transferring all my pictures and videos over. So I went ahead and converted it and just posted this part 4. This is going to be part 5, and obviously part 5 is going to be all the way through to the end, maybe, because I don't like that much with it. And I'll show you what I did that I didn't film, what I've done to it, parts that I've come in, show you what I've done with it. Alright, see what we've done so far. See, I missed out showing you to put the engine in there. What I didn't film was the motor mounts came in. As you can see, brand new 4 motor mounts, and I got them installed the engine. The Bilge come in. I don't know if you can see it, but I got a brand new Bilge right there. Let me come around this way. I'll be able to see it a little bit better. But it's pretty much the same type of Bilge that was in there. So I got a brand new Bilge. The little sensor relay part ended up working really good. So what I done is, when I got the Bilge wired in, I just took the sensor and plugged it in and then stuck it down in the water, and it would come on. It would come on. You pull it out of the water. You know, it'd be timed, you know. I pulled it out and it would shut off, and it worked great. So where I broke it off, I just JB welded it and then put 2 zip ties on there. I figured that works fine. And I've already tried it out. I put the plugs in and took a water hose and filled this up. This is before I put the engine in it, and filled up with water, and it cut on until it pumped it out, and then when it got down to a certain level, it shut off like it should. And let's see here. Now, I've already tried everything out. The engine will turn over. I've already started it to run it just a minute. Pour a little fuel down the carburetors to make sure, you know, all this was good as far as, you know, with it plugged in to the stator and the pulse, what they call the pulse, the igniter pulse, and make sure all this is right, and it works. It puts fire to it. Started up. I just ran it for just half a second because I had the manifold off. It's super loud. So I gotta get all that bolted back up, and the pipe and all that. On the alignment, I'm debating on, let's see here, take things out here. All right, on the alignment, I'm kind of kicking around on just buying it cheapest I found on an alignment tool was $249 for free shipping. I just, I've kind of getting mixed results. Some people saying it ain't gonna hurt anything to bolt it back up. Some say eyeball it. Some say use an alignment tool, So I'm still kicking around on that, on the alignment. That's what I'm a hurdle on right now. Okay. I'll show you what else has come in. This is my work table. My tachometers come in. Little seals come in for the jet pump. My wear ring. What else? Oh, aluminum instead of plastic, which is nice. That's come in. And then here's my carbon ring, carbon seal clips. All that's come in. The only thing that hasn't come in yet is my impeller tool. It's an impeller to get the impeller out, and then the rebuild kit for the jet pump itself, for the bearings and stuff. That's the only thing that I've ordered yet that ain't come in. And I'm kicking around. Today is Saturday. I'm gonna try to make a decision between now and Sunday night to order the alignment tool or not to order the alignment tool. And then hopefully I can test this thing out on the water by next week. Oh, another thing. The drain right here. This is the drain for the cockpit area. I don't know where the rest of it's at. Oh, here it is. This fits over here. The other 3 bolts are laying over there by the wear ring. This fits right here. I took it out, and there's the hose for it. And it is a drain for the cockpit area, as you can see right here. Right there. So what happens is when this thing fills with water, it'll just run through the tube. Instead of running and filling this up, it just runs right out the back of the boat. You know what I mean? It just runs, like most boats, it just goes into the engine bay area, and in the Bilge I had to pump it out, but it runs right out the back of the boat. And I was wondering, I thought, that looks pretty low on the water line. And I was thinking, does water come back in there? But come to find out, it has like a check valve. As you can see, somebody sent me a picture of one, and it's rotted away. So what it does is it lets water out but not let water in. So instead of using that design there, I'm gonna still use this. They make them with a flap that fits over this, and then you fit this over that. And what that does is that flap opens, like it lets water out but not lets water in. So I'm gonna change the design on that. It hasn't come in yet, so hopefully get that. I thought, if I was ready to go in the water and I got this, I'd just stuff a rag in there just to try it out. But it's gonna be next weekend before I try it out on the water. And then once everything works good out on the water, then I'll start really cleaning it up, cleaning that steering wheel up, those handles up, replacing the cup holders. I'm gonna try to take some fishing line and stitch all this up. I wish I could just find some teal, well, not teal, this is considered marine green, like finding some tape like some duct tape that's similar, and just tape this up, so it don't look as bad. So far so good. Let's see if it'll turn over. Oh, and I've got a new chirper. It just kind of got it wired in right now, and it works. Plug it up, 2 chirps, engine turns over. So pretty successful so far. All right, I think I am going to mount the manifold back in, hook the exhaust back up, fuel lines, oil lines, water lines, everything but the jet pump, because I'm still waiting on parts on that like I talked about earlier. I'm going to work on the battery box. I ain't decided whether I'm just going to glue it down or drill me some holes and run a strap over the top of it or run screws through it. I ain't figured that out. Obviously that battery will go on my Kawasaki and I'll just buy a regular battery for this thing. So I'm gonna film all that because I got my new phone obviously. So okay. Alright guys, let's put you in the stand here. Let's get working on some of this. So far, I've got this oil line hooked up and the other one hooked up to the other side. Got my brand new filter on there. I ain't got it hooked on or anything yet, so. Trying to get. No, I'm not going to do the high speed on this part, so. Alright. Like I said, I got all my lines hooked up, chokes hooked up, throttles hooked up. Throttle's kind of acting funky, but it sounds like it's something up there around the lever. Fuel lines hooked up. Still got the water lines hooked up to hook up. Manifold to hook up. So I still got to look a little bit to hook up there, but not super terrible. I still got to put a clamp here, cover back on that. I may take this thing down to the gas station and put about a half tank or something in it. I don't want to use my 5-gallon fuel can out here because I got a mow this weekend. I don't want to make 2 trips, so I may do that. I may take this thing down the road and do that. It's easier to just take it down there and put about a half tank in there, a quarter of a tank or something like that. I mean, I ain't gonna pull the fuel tank back out anymore, so. Alright, not too terrible. Let's get this manifold and stuff on, hook these water lines up, get some fuel in her. Alright, I have got everything pretty much done as far as engine stuff. Let's see, take things over and get a little peek. I have hooked all the water lines up, fuel lines up, cable lines. Oil tank's full of oil, as you can see. I got about a half tank of fuel. I just got back from putting on ethanol fuel. I put some 2-stroke mix, just a little bit in the tank, and then the oil tank's full. Seems like there's no leaks anywhere that I can see. I may have to prime it, I don't know. try to see if I can start it up here. And if it starts up, then I'm gonna hook water line up to it. Now that right there is supposed to hook, that line right there is supposed to hook up to the jet pump, which is loose in the water, or loose in the boat. So what I'm gonna do, when I hook water up, I'm gonna take that little aluminum shaft that I got and just stick it in the back and hook it up to where it just pour out the back instead of fill this thing up. I mean, I could probably plug it up, but I'd rather have it flow like it should. So let's get you back here. I don't know if it'll crank up. And when I filled it up with oil out stayed off when I put the thing on there, and it shows about half tank. Well, actually a little more than half tank, but alright, now probably gonna have to prime it, so let me go ahead and prime it and I'll get back with you. Alright, I filled up the little fuel filter bowl, filled it up. I haven't primed it. A little fuel down the tank, or not the tank, down the carburetors. See if it'll suck it up in there. In there. May have to prime it like I did in that SPX, sorry. Wonder what's causing that. Boy, don't want to run today. Yeah, let me take the fuel line off and I'm gonna cipher it like I did on that SPX. Go from there. I ciphered a little bit of it up. You know, fuel don't taste too good, you know. Rag. See what it does now. Make sure the choke's actually closing up like it's supposed to. We got some problems. I'll run the battery down or something. Let's figure it out right quick. All right, I know y'all missed out on it. All I did was I pulled the two plugs out. It seemed like it was Hydrolock, but it wasn't. I don't know why. So I pulled the two plugs out, put the caps on or went short the coil out and turned it over, and it turned over fine. Put the plugs back in, started right up with choking. So. Stop. Pull the cap off. I'm gonna get that water going outside. We'll hook a water hose up to it and check for water leaks and let it run on water. Let me get that hooked up here. Now what I'm gonna do is that part that come in for the jet pump, I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna put the hose on it and let it run out the back. So when I got the water hose, the water will just run out this tube right here instead of filling my boat up. You know, it would run out the hose, but I don't want to put no more water in there, and I want to keep for leaks. I guess there's some water in there now. I might take the shop back and get it completely out and check for water leaks and stuff like that and kind of go from there. Let me get all this hooked up. All right, I got my hose hooked up. I got my little valve in there, one what you've seen in part 3, little green valve. Crank her up. Well, this thing's with the SHIT. Seconds over there. I know y'all curious. I ain't hooked my RPM gauge up yet. need to be adjusted just a little bit. High and low speed need to be adjusted. Kind of take note on it. It almost dies. When you go down the aisle, it almost dies. It sounds like it needs to be adjusted or something. Shaking bad. Turn the water off. Run a lot better one isn't it? SPX. That thing's shaking bad. So I may take note of the, you know, hose over is leaking over there on the other side of the truck there. But I may take note on where the jets are, or the high and low speed adjustments are, write them down, and then go stock and then adjust it there. Go from there. See what we get. I probably won't film none of that because that's going to be a little trial and error troubleshooting. Alright guys, I've done some adjustments to it. I've got water hooked up. RPM gauge, all you do is plug it in, leave wires in the bottom. Just plug it in, I've already had it working. And from one of my knowledge, you can run 3,000 RPM out of the water and it's supposed to be 1,500 RPM in the water. So, it's running all right. I've got water's all coming out like it should. This is what my RPM gauge is running right here. So less than 3,000. Now when I first crank it up, it wants to run about 1,500 until I rev it up a little bit. And it seems like it runs fine. To 1 1/4 turns out like it's supposed to. I think one was like a turn out, the other one was like half a turn out. Got it running, it was running about 1,000, 1,500 RPM and it was shaking real bad. And so, looks like it's running right. So, as far as I know, I still got to wait on jet pump parts. Wait on the parts for that. water and see where we're at. Turn all this back on. Like it's working all right. Like you could rev it up and it wouldn't go over 4,000 RPM. But when you put it in gear, it would run up to 6,000 or 7,000 RPM. So that's working. Because at first I was revving it up and it wouldn't go over it would bottom out at 4,000 RPM, and I thought there's something wrong. And I done a little research, come to find out it's got to be in gear before you go over 4,000. It ran up about 6 or 7. I'm at a point now. I'm waiting on the jet pump part. Still ain't decided if I'm gonna buy the alignment tool. So now maybe try to install this gauge right here. Go from there. That's about it. They do some cleaning. That's about most grease work I'm going to do. Everything else is pretty straightforward. Putting the rest of the exhaust in there, alignment and all that. So I need to clean the stuff up a little bit. That's where we're at.